Hello, Walk Cardinal Network. Welcome here to the Rusty Cowles Fieldhouse. I'm here with our head coach, Coach Rivers, of our varsity football team. How you doing, Coach?
Maddox.
So we want to start off with some questions. So, we had a very explosive offense last year. Did very well offensively, and how are we looking to improve and kind of set that as a standard and improve from last year to this season?
Yeah, obviously we lost two key linemen up front. They've been a part of it for a long time on that left side, so we've shuffled some guys around up front. Looking for some guys to step up, and then obviously a handful of returning starters, including yourself. And then skill position wise, we got almost everybody back. And then you throw in Braden Smith, who played primarily defense last year because of an early injury to Brady Zadib, and then throw in Braden Walton as well. So looking forward to seeing our skill guys, how we're going to be able to spread the ball around and then run the football behind you guys up front and continue to be explosive as we were last year.
Yes, sir. So also, we are historically 1-4. Against Bayside, and so starting the season off with them, how does that very first game affect the rest of the season, and also how are we looking to change the narrative of us and Bayside? Yeah,
no, it's been we had the first 2 years we played them when I was here. It was tough. It came down to the last play almost in both games, and they came out on top. And they're a good program. Obviously, Coach Lass was there for a long time and did a heck of a job. And then Coach Trotter's doing a good job with them now. And I think they're going to be one of the top teams in 3A when it's all said and done. And so it's a good challenge for us early. Obviously, it's a rivalry game in terms of all you guys know each other. They're right there down the street, and so there'll be a lot of energy and a lot of emotion, which is good. And then at the end of the day, though, we know that both this games for both teams have no impact on postseason play or anything like that. But it's always good to get off to a fast start, and you can't win them all unless you win the first one. And so obviously excited to play these guys, but also can't make it bigger than it is. It's the first game of the year, and at our place, and it should be a big crowd, and looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. It's also talking about some of these games that aren't in our region. It might not seem like they matter as much. How do you kind of go about and approach these out of region games?
Yeah, well, we as you know, Max, we say everything matters. So every game matters. Every rep counts. Every practice rep counts. They all count. Yes, they don't affect the postseason. We could lose every non-region game and still, be a 1 or 2 seed in our region if we take care of business. So, but they all matter because they all affect and they all accumulate, and all the reps count, and you build upon one another. And so I love our non-region schedule because it's a combination of different classifications. You play Bayside, who's 3A, but they're obviously in our backyard in terms of we're in the same town pretty much. And then you go up to John Carroll and play another Catholic school in Birmingham, who's traditionally been good in 5A. Then you play Pensacola, an out-of-state team who gave us a little different look, running the veer and some things like that. So that was good for us there late in the year. And then you finish with UMS, who's one of the most winningest program, one of the winningest programs in the state. And they've been in 4A, 5A kind of for the last however many years. But so it's a challenging non-region schedule, and it's one that I know you guys, you'd much rather have that than have a non-region schedule that's boring, So it allows us not only to be, obviously we know what our championships, we all say start in the region, but our non-region schedule is fun and competitive, and those games, obviously, they do all count on your record. They don't count towards postseason, but we know they all matter.
Yes, sir. And then lastly, what's the one thing you're most excited for from last season to the seasons?
Well, I think just to, gosh, it was such a fun year last year, and you obviously play until Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, we're out here practicing and over Thanksgiving break, and it's man, it's a little bit chilly. It's we're still playing football. It's awesome, and so obviously you want to get back to that, to have that opportunity again. So that's a long way to go. We talked about if it goes our way, right, we want it to be 15 games we have to play this year. So we got a long way to go, but it's one at a time. You don't want to start looking ahead to those playoff games and then miss this. So I'm just looking forward to seeing you guys back on the grass again on a Friday night, and playing. And it was a fun year last year, but again, that year doesn't mean anything now. And it's a new team. This team has never won a game or never lost a game, this current team. So I'm excited to see how we respond after having some success. It was always that. We've never won a playoff game. We've never had a home playoff game. We've never. Now we have. So now what do we do? How do we respond to that?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Coach.
One question.
Okay.
If you don't mind, you've got famously, you say Newt Chappie. begin again. Can you kind of just expand on that? How you use that in coaching high school?
Yeah. So yeah, Nuke Cheppy, right? And now I begin. It's a Latin phrase, never ending beginning. You're always beginning again. It's one way of saying one play at a time, right? Or let's go. It's the next play. Throw an interception, you got a Nuke Cheppy. You miss a block, we got a Nuke Cheppy. You have a pancake block, you got a Nuke Cheppy, right? You got to begin again, both good and bad. So yeah, we remind our guys of that, here and there all the time, and to apply it in everything that they do, right? In their schoolwork and their schoolwork and their faith life and their relationships. You're always beginning again. You're always getting back up, good or bad. And I think that's key, right? To play the next play and not let the previous things affect you. You learn from them. You gain what you can gain and to grow from those, but then you got to move on to the next one and Nuke Cheppy. And here we are, literally Nuke Cheppy of the 2025 season. We begin against Bayside, and we're fired up.
Well, thank you, Coach. You're watching Cardinal football on the WCN network.
It all starts Friday right here on the Wild Cardinal Network. Bayside at the Nest.